Good evening, peeps. Good evening. All right, before we start the vid, I just want to say a massive thank you to Fred, a long-time subscriber who sent me not one, but 2 bottles of Chivas Regal. Is it Chivas Regal or Chivas Regal? I'm going to say Chivas Regal. But yeah, thank you to Fred who sent me 2 bottles. I mean, this little space over there is turning into a little mini offer license, isn't it? So yeah, big thank you to Fred for sending me that. Really appreciated. I've already had a little sneaky single. I was going to have a double, but it's a bit late. A little sneaky single, and I love it. I love it. So thank you to Fred for getting that sent out to me. Much appreciated. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And don't forget as well, please, to like and share the vids. All right, let's get into the... In fact, before we get into this video, I spoke to Frank Warren today. I've got a new boxing show on my show within TalkSport. And it's me and Gareth A. Davis who host it. And today we spoke to Frank Warren and Josh Warrington. I'm telling you now, fact, AJ versus Fury is happening next. So not it will happen this year. That's a given. Happening next. And it goes down. I'm going to guess and say June, Saudi Arabia, that fight happens. Like when I asked Frank the question, he pretty much said there's nothing stopping it anymore. And we're going to talk about that in a minute because no doubt we're going to talk about Usyk versus Joe-Joyce, which was one of the biggest stumbling blocks. It looks like that fight's going to be for the WBO interim title. That was one of the stumbling blocks. I don't think Deontay Wilder is a stumbling block anymore. The fact is, there's just too much money on the table for everyone to walk away from. And I mean everyone. MTK Global, Frank Warren, Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, Top Rank, Sky, DAZN, AJ, Fury. Far too much money. The fight is happening. Mark my words. All right, before we get carried away, Ade, calm down. Let's see what's going on in boxing world. I only made a video yesterday, and already there's so much more news, so much more things to have a good old chinwag about. Estrada motivated to knock Roman Gonzalez out. Leave no doubt. Great fight. Great fight. That fight is March 13th. Estrada versus Chocolatito. Woo! Again, that's probably not one for the casuals, but the hardcore fans amongst us, you've got I don't know who's going to show the fight. I hope it's on the DAZN app that I've got. Fingers crossed it's on that. If it is, then yeah, I can't wait. Logan Paul insists Mayweather fight still on. Date change looms. No interest. Move on. Canelo Alvarez versus Avni Yildirim undercard information. We'll go back to that actually because I do believe Martinez is on that fight card, who I like to see. It is Martinez, yeah, Martinez who beat Charlie Edwards. You know, that killer, that fucking little machine. He's on it. But we'll see. Chris Congo versus Michael Mickinson added to Povetkin white card. That's a good fight. I know people might say, oh, but it doesn't mean it's not enough because obviously, you know, it's a pay-per-view. That's a good fight. Take away the fact that it's on a pay-per-view card and it might be like, you know, well done on the undercard of this pay-per-view card. That alone is just a great fight. So make sure you tune in for that one. This I saw today and I was like, what is going on? Jake Paul is going to fight Ben Askren. Now, for those of you that are not into your MMA and don't know who Ben Askren is, Ben Askren was one of the best wrestlers in MMA. Former Bellator champ, crossed over to the UFC, got smoked a few times. He's known really for getting smoked by Jorge Masvidal in about, what was it? I can't remember how many seconds it was. 7 seconds or something. He has some of the worst hands, and I mean, he doesn't have to box basically when I say that, I've ever seen in MMA. I expect Jake Paul to beat him. This is embarrassing. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's just broke, needs a bit of money, he's been offered it, and that's probably why he's thinking he can beat Jake Paul. He can't beat Jake Paul in boxing. I honestly don't believe he can. We'll see what happens. Again, he has some of the worst hands I've ever seen. He was a good wrestler, a good grappler, and that's what he was known for. So he would grab you and try and submit you or kind of ground and pound you. He can't box. So yeah, I don't know. April 17th. I'm guessing, again, this is part of Snoop Dogg's Triller thing, but we'll see. Ellaby, a lot of people will disagree, but Tank Ryan Garcia is biggest fight in boxing. Oh, God, man. That's a disgraceful statement. That's ludicrous. That is ludicrous. So he's saying Tank Garcia is bigger than Joshua Fury. Oh, that's why I just want to snore and sleep when people make these kind of statements. No, it's not. It's not. Eddie Hearn approached by freed broadcasters. Intention is to extend deal with Sky. Yeah, this deal with Sky runs out this year. I think it's May. I think someone did confirm that it's May. I don't know. Did you see that Matchroom have launched their own media platform? Now, this is big. This is very, very, very big. Like, why do Matchroom, if Matchroom is launching their own media platform, which look, everything's online nowadays, isn't it? What do they need Sky or DAZN for? Especially, look, DAZN I get maybe for America, but eventually Matchroom will literally cut out the middleman. The middleman is the broadcasters, DAZN, Sky, whoever, and they can just go direct with us. They can put on their own fights, yeah, on their own platform. That is it. That's what's going to happen. So if Matchroom sign a 2 or 3 year deal with Sky, which they probably will, because it's going to take a long time to get their own platform fully working and functioning to the point where it can handle, I don't know, millions of people tuning into it. It's going to that's going to take a couple of years. After that, Matchroom are going to be showing their own fights. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And they're not going to need a Sky or a DAZN. They're not. They're just going to be doing their own thing. That's the way to go. So well done. Well done to them. Well done to them. We'll see how it plays out, how it works. But in my head, that's exactly what they're going to do. Again, I could be wrong, but I think that's what they're going to do. Joe-Joyce, Usyk will be tough. I'm fairly confident I can beat him. That fight is close to being made, people. Very close to being made. Joe-Joyce, Usyk. And it goes back to what I said at the beginning, that there are no more big stumbling blocks to prevent AJ from Fury happening. That was a big one, right? That was probably the biggest one. I know Wilder's there in the background, but the WBO situation was quite big. Just because, having spoke to AJ, I know AJ didn't want to vacate the WBO. Like, he had no intention of vacating a belt that he had worked hard to get and get back, obviously after losing it to Ruiz. Eddie was the one talking about, okay, belts don't mean much, we'll vacate. I think Eddie was just putting out things there to kind of warn the WBO and Usyk that, you know, if you try and push us, we'll just vacate. So he had no intention of vacating. Now we're hearing that Joe-Joyce versus Usyk is going to happen for the interim title. And I mentioned this about a week ago, where Fury will fight AJ for the real thing. And then the winner of that fight will vacate the belt. And that belt, whoever wins Joe-Joyce versus Usyk, will just be upgraded to the full champion. That is the plan. Usyk will still get some step aside money. That's still part of the plan, but it will be an interim title that he fights for. Now, I was thinking, like, this is a huge fight for me. Joe-Joyce, Usyk, huge fight. I mean, everyone remembers their first fight, or if you don't, go and check it out as an amateur. Usyk won that one. Quite comfortable, I thought, but Joe-Joyce is a lot better now than that. And I wasn't over the moon with Usyk's performance against Derek Chisora. At the same time, I do think everyone is going OTT about Joe-Joyce's performance against Daniel Dubois, just because Daniel Dubois wasn't ready for that fight. So, like, in fighting Daniel Dubois, for me, Joe-Joyce was still fighting a novice. It was still fighting a novice, you know? And I think hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I think we can all agree to that now. So, look, if it happens, it's a great fight. I do wonder if it's a fight that does need to go on pay-per-view. Is it a pay-per-view fight? Will people sign up to BT Sports to watch it? I'm not quite sure. And it will be a BT Sports fight, by the way. Usyk hasn't re-upped with Matchroom, I don't believe. So he is a free mercenary for hire. So it won't be a fight that's on Sky Sports. It will be on BT Sports. I like the fight. I really do like the fight. It's a fantastic heavyweight fight to look forward to. Usyk will keep on coming. Sorry, Joe-Joyce will keep on coming. We know that. Usyk isn't going to be able to put him away, I don't believe. So it's a fight that will go 12 rounds. And if it's a case of it going 12 rounds, then my money's always on the better boxer of the two. So my money will always be on Alexander Usyk to get this job done. And we'll see what happens after. But let's see if Frank can announce that. I did also ask Frank about the situation with Daniel Dubois. He said he's still got to go and see a specialist for the eye. If that gets the go, like the green tick and the go ahead, they are looking to get Daniel Dubois out in May. I asked him about the situation with Anthony Yard and Lyndon Arthur. Lyndon Arthur did have, I think, surgery on his hand in the immediate aftermath of the fight. They do want to get them out again. The first fight wasn't exciting. This is his own word. So I do wonder if that's done and they both move on. And Lyndon Arthur comes back and fights Craig Richards or someone like that. But he didn't seem very excited about getting that fight on again, if I'm honest with you. But we'll see what happens. Caleb Plant, I'm the big dog at 168. I'm not chasing anybody. Okay. Well, he's not the big dog at 168, is he? All right. That's not even me being a wanker. That's just fact. He's not. Canelo's at 168, right? You're not the big dog. Canelo's like the Rottweiler, you know, and I was going to be a bit horrible to Caleb Plant there, but Canelo is the big fucking dog in that division. Him not chasing anybody, like, I get that, right? He's a world champion, he's unbeaten, he's going to think all those things. Don't mean diddly squat. Doesn't mean diddly squat. There are a number of unbeaten world champions at 160 and 168. Means nothing. All of them are chasing one man, and that one man is Canelo. So you might not be chasing him, understandably so, fine. But it doesn't make you the big dog in that division, because you are far from it, my friend. Far from it. Yeah. I like Caleb Plant, but okay. Yeah. Oh man, I want to be so much harsher, but I'm holding back, like, because it must be difficult, right? Like, your ego. You're like, why am I chasing Canelo? Like, why? Like, you know, why am I chasing him? I'm a world champion. I'm unbeaten. Boxing doesn't work like that. It should work like that, but it doesn't work like that. Canelo is the big dog in that division. Canelo is the big dog of boxing. He just happens to be in your division. If I'm you, I do chase that. If I'm you, I start now. I call him out. In fact, what I do is, I think he's got Caleb Truax next. I beat Caleb Truax. It looks like Canelo will fight Yildirim, and then we'll fight Billy Joe Saunders, right? And if Canelo does that, he's then got, 3 belts in the division. Am I right? WBC. What's he got? WBA. Who's got WBA? Yeah, he's got WBC. No, he's going to fight for. He's got the WBC, hasn't he? Yeah, it was vacant. So he's got WBC. He's got the WBA. He's going to fight Billy Joe Saunders. WBO, I think he'll beat Billy Joe. You then start screaming, if I'm Caleb Plant, in and around the summertime for an undisputed unification showdown. You scream. You chase. You don't think you chase. You chase. You make a campaign. You make a social media campaign. You chase. You say that he's scared of me. He doesn't want this smoke. But you do everything you can do to get that fight. Or you can stick with what you're doing and say, I don't chase. And then you can fight Benavidez for 1/10 of the money and no belt. You can do that. You can fight another Caleb Truax type person. You can do that. Or you can park your fucking ego and chase. And chase for the chance to beat the pound for pound #1. Chase for the chance for red panty night in your household. Chase for the chance to beat Canelo Alvarez. You make the decision. What we got here? Sullivan Barrera is dropping to 168. Aims for new opportunities. Guess what Sullivan Barrera is going to do? Chase. Yep, that's what he's going to do. 2 seconds. You know, when I was speaking to Gareth A. Davis today, because he was talking about what Conor McGregor could do next. And he was like, he can fight Nate Diaz. He can fight Poirier again. And he can fight Pacquiao. And I was like, Pacquiao fight's dead. And he was like, no, it's not. Like, people will still tune in to see Conor fight Pacquiao. I was like, okay. I don't think so, but we'll see. 2 secs. Don King. Fucking hell, this man just keeps on going. Don King is petitioning to make Trevor Bryant versus Bermane Stiverne for the WBA regular title. And he wants to have Manuel Charr, as champion in recess. Can we just stop this fucking bollocks, please? Jesus Christ, man. Because I don't know if you guys know what's going on, but there was an issue with Charr getting a visa to go to America. So there was talk about him versus Trevor Bryant not happening. I heard that he's got the visa now, but still we're not quite sure, you know, if he's going to have to quarantine when he gets... There's a lot of bullshit going on. So they're trying to make Bermane Stiverne, who was on this card anyway, step up and fight Trevor Bryant. Who cares? Like, Trevor Bryant, Manuel Charr, Bermane Stiverne, I do not care about. Like, when I think of the heavyweight division and sort of players in the heavyweight division, those are not all I'm talking about. I really don't care about them. Madness. Crazy. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, is there anything else to talk about? I don't think there is much to talk about. Yeah, there isn't anything else. Let's quickly end on this. We touched on it at the top. Joshua versus Fury. Me saying it's definitely going to happen. Yeah, it definitely happens. It definitely happens. I know it's funny because I've been going back and forth with CRB, especially on the live chats. And he's like, ain't going to happen. Fury's going to fight Wilder next. And I was like, maybe. No. Nope. Fury is not fighting Wilder next. Tyson Fury is fighting Anthony Joshua next. And it will be, I think, top 5 biggest fights of all time. So I think, obviously, I hate to count Mayweather, McGregor, but it's there in it. So Pac-Man, Mayweather, McGregor, Mayweather, Oscar, Mayweather, Canelo, and then I think it will be AJ Fury. Yeah, I think it will pass Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson. I think it will pass that number. I really do. I think this is going to be enormous. And I look forward to it. I really, really can't wait. It's going to happen, people. It's going to happen. Trust me. Ade said it. Peace.